Hello, everyone. We are live for this little mini training that I am doing with Sabine Matheru. We are going to be talking about simplifying email marketing, which is something that is incredibly important, right, as online business owners. And Sabine is also a contributor in the Simple Marketing Bundle that is happening next week. It is opening on my 35th birthday, April 18th. Woohoo. So, Sabine, before we talk about simplifying email marketing, do you want to just introduce who you are and just share a little bit more about you?
Yeah, thanks, Steph. So happy to be here with you and be able to contribute to your amazing bundle. So yeah, my name is Sabine Matheru and I work with female entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, therapists, and healers, primarily who got themselves in a little bit of a pickle, as in like overthinking things, overcomplicated their business, and they just have to find themselves again. And I think this is what we're here for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, my whole thing is simplifying your business, simplifying your life, right? So this is a very uh, close conversation, or very important conversation to me as well, which I think it's why it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot to share.
Yeah.
But when it comes to simplifying email marketing specifically, because the reason we're talking about this is because inside of the Simple Marketing Bundle, the resource that you're contributing, it's called the Quick Clients Formula. And I know that you created this to help people make more money really quickly, especially with email marketing. So do you want to share a little bit about that product, and then just also some of your favorite tips to help people simplify their own email marketing?
Yeah, sure. So the reason why I put this together is because I think sometimes we just need a bit of a quick cash injection. And I also find that when clients come to me, they are not really making offers in a way that really converts. So this, the Quick Clients Formula is an email sequence that you can put together within probably an hour, if and maybe even less actually, and you drizzle it out over the next 7 days. It also includes components of videos and reviewing your offer. So it's a really sort of a quick review of all the basically the assets that you need anyway to actually go out there and make your offer. And if you, obviously it works best when you have already an email list and you can utilize this, but you might say, well, actually, I don't have an email list, or my email list is not big enough. Well, it doesn't matter. You could utilize those emails, or the text, the copy, and the video, because I'm giving you the scripts for that as well, in social media as posts. So, and it's really down to the point. And it actually, you know what, I always do what I preach. When I've implemented this the first time, I think I got a high-end client paying me £5,000. That's British pounds. That's like, what, $6,000 within like 3 days. Right? She's
That's
like, oh my
amazing.
gosh. Yeah, and it was like a 2-minute video. So, sometimes we just overcomplicate things. Again, this is why I've put it together, because I wanted to give something that's so implementable quickly. And, otherwise we'll procrastinate, we'll stall, we want to be, everything needs to be perfect. There's no video editing involved or anything like this, no fluff, right? It's straight to the point. That's why it's so powerful.
That's amazing. Yeah, you get in, you get out, and you get money. Right?
Exactly.
Which, as business owners, if you're not making money, what are you doing, right? You just have usually a very expensive hobby because you have to pay for the resources to run your business. So I think that's amazing. And just as a reminder, that's the product that you can get inside of the $7 bundle in the Simple Marketing Bundle that's opening next week on April 18th. But you're also giving a really incredible resource too, called the Evergreen Webinar Planner, and that's in the optional VIP pass, right? So do you want to share a little bit about that and how you can use Evergreen webinars in your business to kind of automate that lead generation and then also revenue?
Exactly. I always say, first simplify, then systematize, and then you can scale, right? So this is part of the systematization. So if you are tired of doing live launches, which many people are, and if you, like me, have used webinars and we've done live webinars, normally we get maybe 25 to 30% of people who are registered actually come into your webinar. Now, what I've put together is a playbook that helps you not only design the webinar, but also fill it. And it gives you the hints and tricks and the hacks that give me 61% live attendees. So I'm doubling the people who come in live. Right, from that onwards, obviously, I have a better opportunity to actually convert people, because I now have, when 100 people register, I have 60 people joining me live rather than just 25 people, right? So there is a way to do this. And that's what the webinar planner actually shows you. How do you structure those webinars, and what do you do, especially when it comes to evergreen, because now we're removing ourselves and we're not doing it live. So how do you get people to firstly come, who registered, actually come and wanting to watch it? And then what do you do inside the webinar?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things that we can talk about here, right? Like, first, I love how you said simplify, then systematize, then scale. I had the exact same philosophy, and that's exactly what I show people to do, how to do too. So I love that we're having this conversation. And when it comes to, let's just kind of take a step back now that you've shared all of these wonderful products that you have, and talk a little bit about simplifying email marketing specifically. So when it comes to that, what do you have any, maybe like one or two of your favorite tips to, let's approach this from simplifying lead generation, if you can speak to that, and then also simplifying selling through social media. Not email, simplifying selling through email.
So, okay, so I guess there is no right or wrong answer. I think what you need to do is think, okay, what am I doing right now? Is it working? Is it not working? Right, it's not working. Okay, what am I doing? Right, I only send one email a month. Okay, maybe it's not enough. Maybe people already switched off. Maybe people already forgot about me. The other extreme is, oh, I need to write an email every single day. And that's a lot of pressure. It's like, well, I need to come up with all this content and everything else, right? So where do you, what feels good to you? What feels good? And how do you want to receive emails? Is it always just sale, sale, sale? And that's not going to work either, because people will just delete. So the question is, what does the data say? Do you have data about how many people are opening your emails? How many people are clicking on a link if you're sending out a link? How many people are unsubscribing? I think that's going to give you quite a good sort of insight around whether your email marketing is working right now. Right? So that's number one. And then again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's like, for me, I sat down and I thought, actually, do you know what? I want to repurpose all the stuff that I'm putting out there on social media. And I want to become more like, I want to connect more authentically with people. So how do I do this? And again, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I decided I wanted to do more live streams. Like we're on live stream right now. I'm very happy to be in person. I want to chat. And so I am already creating, and I will continue to create more videos. So I'm going to go down that route. So what can I do? I can reutilize these videos. I can have them transcribed, or if you're, I sometimes need some bullet points around like what I'm actually talking about on videos, because I don't want to just randomly go off on something. So you could actually turn that into an email, so it actually doesn't feel so heavy anymore as to like, oh, I need to create some content. So you now have some bullet points that you can create text from. You can utilize that on social media. You can then turn it into a video. You can then take the link to the video and send it out to your email list a couple of days later, because some people like to learn on video. Some people like to read. Maybe you have a podcast. You can download the sound as well. If you use something like StreamYard or Zoom, you can create the video and you can download the audio as well and then have it as a podcast. So think, this is simplification again, right? we simplify how we are creating content, and then how we're going to actually put this content out there. So doesn't mean that you need to actually create 7 pieces of content every week. So I like to do just 1 or 2 pieces of content, and then on Sunday, and again, you can pre-schedule this. You don't need to go on your laptop on a Sunday and send an email. Now, I like to send out Sunday inspiration, and it's just a little golden nugget, something I learned. Maybe, you like to read a book. I love to read books, listen to audiobooks, listen to other podcasts, and then perhaps share 1 piece of learning that I've learned and that I want to implement in my business, or something that I think is amazing and I want to implement. Again, there's another piece of content there. And that's a quite nice thing, to do, to share. And it doesn't mean that you always need to sell something. That means you're actually building know, like, and trust. And to go back to the second part of your question was about how do you get people on your email list? How do you do the lead generation?
Well, before we talk about that, I really want to focus on this, because I agree with so many things that you've said. I started repurposing content years ago, before AI was around, and now it was around, but like not in the way that it is now. And it's made everything so much easier, right?
Absolutely.
Because you can take a transcript from like this conversation we're having, and you can just like pop it into a tool, and it will write an email for you. Like it's amazing.
Great blog post from it. Absolutely. Yeah.
And you're repurposing. I mean, it's not done, right? Because you're gonna have to make edits to it. You're gonna have to tweak it. But yeah, repurposing is absolutely the fastest way to simplify your content creation. 100%.
Create a little ebook now. How to simplify your email marketing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've had so many people, and this is on my list of things to do, but I've had so many people say, take one of your live workshops that you've done and turn that into a book and sell it on Amazon. I go, okay, well, I don't know how to do that. So I'll have to figure out how to sell on Amazon first, but it's on my list of things to do, right? But
we can have a conversation. I'm three times best-selling author on Amazon, so
that's right.
A few times.
That's right. I forgot you said it before. Yeah. So you're very familiar with that. So I think that's great. There was something else that you said that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but it was good. Purposing
the Sunday.
I don't remember. I don't know. I mean, also think about the things that you're already doing in your business. I think that's another thing that people tend to forget about. So not just necessarily like repurposing content that they're creating for social media or for a video, but for example, I just sent an email like right before we went live for this about a training that I hosted earlier today in my membership. So I had a guest expert come in, and they talked about the legal side of business, which is something that I don't know about, right? So she was an attorney. She came in, she shared her brilliance. And then I just wrote a very simple email saying like, hey, if you need help with the legal side of your business, like you need to come watch this training because it was amazing. And like, I didn't create anything new. I guess in a way repurposed that training, right, in a way, into an email to invite people to join. So it's like, okay, we're repurposing, but then we're also selling something. So I'm selling this membership, and she also has a product in the bundle next month or next week. So it's like,
exactly.
Sometimes you just have to think outside the box too.
We do so many things day in, day out that we actually forget that, like, and I'm the same. I'm like, gosh, I just changed my membership software, and I had to move everything on my sales funnel somewhere else, and I could have just documented it and say, oh, it's been a pain in the the backside. But this is what I'm doing because I had nothing in between, and I just decided to host it on a Google Drive, and then bits on YouTube, and how I structured it. And some of my clients said, well, I want to learn this. I want to learn how to do this without membership site, or because I have nothing. And I'm like, well, I thought it was normal, like it's easy, but actually it isn't, right? And what you think it's like normal, other people say it's amazing.
I am so guilty of that too. I do so many things all of the time. And again, it's like I wish that I would document. I'm making more of
Mhm.
an effort to document it a little bit better because
Yeah,
there's so many things happening that people don't realize, you know?
exactly,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think this goes back to the simplification. Now, I'm in other memberships, and I love having coaches and mentors. I think is so important to me. And one of the exercises we were asked to do quite recently is actually read the book called The One Thing, and that's actually really going to help you simplify and really think about the one thing you need to complete in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And that made me go and just really focus on moving my sales funnels, for example, or doing my videos. And so we were asked to actually list all the projects and the priorities and how we're gonna, you know, plan it all in. And we were all sharing in the group. And then I realized, oh my gosh, all these other people, they have also like 100 to-do list, right? Because we work in isolation and we don't really share like openly what we're doing and how much time we're spending on each task. So I said to the group, why don't we just share how much time are you actually spending promoting yourself to get people on email list, for example, or how much time do you spend reviewing your lead magnets or putting a lead magnet in place? Because you could be spending like 20 hours to create this one lead magnet, which nobody wants at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you got to
Yep.
really put things into perspective and say, actually, I'm going to do this in an hour and I'm going to put it out there, even if it's like not perfect and it's just rough, it's raw. I can always work on it later, right? So those,
Mhm.
again, those are the things to really remember. And yeah, and we just need to be creative around these things and perhaps even map out like, okay, how much time am I actually spending on each of my activities and are they bringing results?
Mhm. Yeah, I actually, it's funny that we're talking about this now because last month, so what month are we in? We're in April. So March was the first time where in a long time, the bad business owner, Stephanie, like beating myself for this, but it was the first time in a long time that I sat down and looked at all of the things that I had been doing and over the last month. So for example, I looked at, okay, what was everything that I did in February? And I was like, wow, like there were so many things that
Mhm.
happened, and like a lot of people didn't know about these things that had happened, and a lot of people don't know about the things that are planned and coming up. So I started doing, I started sending out this monthly newsletter where I hold myself accountable to actually sit down, review everything that happened, and then write an email and send it to my list and share that
Wow.
information with them. Because if I didn't do that, if I didn't have like somebody external hold me accountable, and like nobody's actually holding me accountable. Like nobody's saying, Stephanie, you need to send that email on the first of the month, but it's almost like this external motivation for me to sit down and review it because there were just there's so many things that happen that we don't realize, right? And the past 2 months that I've sent it, that's been like one of my best received emails ever. People love it,
Yeah.
right? Because everybody's nosy. They want
It-
to know
it-
what's
it-
happening.
Absolutely. These are personal, well, fairly personal things, right? What do you do in your
Yeah.
business behind the scenes? And and I find it interesting when people also are sharing their failures, not just
Oh yeah.
because it's so fake online. Like I don't even like anymore to see people like, oh yeah, this has been smooth sailing and all that. No, this is the real story behind my recent launch. It was a struggle, but I still made whatever, right? That's fine. Then you're more curious about these things and put your
Yeah.
hand up and say, actually, I realized this has not worked at all. I've tried this strategy. I'm now doing another strategy, and I'm going to let you know what's happening. Like I'm working with a nutritionist, and I'm working on losing weight, and I've been working with her for 3 months now. So I inspired her to make a post and said, well, actually, why don't you share what I've been through, because it's been challenging in my age, and and it was all to do with metabolism, and she knows so much about it. She's amazing. So now she's actually turned the tables, and she's like, okay, I've just been working with a client, and she's had really she didn't reach the goals, right? I was hoping she would reach her goal, but now we have to work another 90 days to reach the goal. But we have learned so much in the process, and what has not worked. So I found that fascinating. So again, another angle to look at things.
Right. It works for everybody because everybody's failing every single day. They're just usually not talking about it because it's not comfortable, right? Like it's definitely not comfortable. It's scary and it makes you vulnerable. And yeah, but I mean, I think it's incredibly important to do, especially if you want to lead a group of people in some way, right? So if your goal is to change lives, lead a large group, I think it's most important for you to be very open and vulnerable then, because that will attract people to you, right?
Absolutely.
And I mean, because yeah, that can go into a whole other conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Leadership.
Not gonna dive into all that.
Leadership. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, overall, like there's so many different things that you can not only write about to your email list, post about on social media. It's just almost thinking, like, again, thinking outside the box, thinking a little bit strategically to do it in a way that, I like how you said before, makes or feels good to you, right? Because if you're trying to force yourself to do something that doesn't feel good to you, you're not going to do it, right? Like you just won't. You'll have 10,000 reasons why you can't
It won't
do it.
work. I mean, if you're trying to follow someone else's blueprint, it won't work either. And whatever I put together for the bundle, it's a guide. It's a guide for you to give you an idea as to how you could do things. And I'm testing all kinds of different things, right? Because you were asking, so how do you get people into your email list? Well, we all know, and the gurus tell you.
Thank you for bringing that full circle.
Yeah, exactly. Because I really want to talk about this because because the gurus obviously tell you build an email list. Because you never know if Facebook or Instagram is going to shut you down. Now, that's a great train of thought, and it's valid. Everyone teaches it. Now, I'm testing now, right? I've just started this process for myself to actually have conversations with people before I send them the whatever I put out there, like a freebie, right? And so that would actually be them requesting that particular webinar planner, for example, or whatever it is. And then they would actually need to send me a DM and not even opt in to anything. So how would that look like? How's that going to look like?
I've done
you
that.
now have a direct conversation. Now, I hate actually DMs because they're spammy. I know, these ones where people befriend you and then the second sentence is, oh, do you want to buy this? That's not the kinds of DMs I'm talking about. It's really about creating connections with people and asking them, okay, where are you at in your business? Because I have several resources that might help you.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that too.
So
I never want somebody to buy something from me or work with me in some way if it's not right for them. Like that, it doesn't make sense. Don't spend your time or your money if it doesn't make sense. And if you can have a short conversation, like, do that.
Absolutely. So there's another idea. But obviously, I've been doing email marketing for about 10 years, and I've tested many things. So I just want to say, perhaps, I don't know how much time we have left. Maybe it's the last sort of golden nugget. It's about your welcome sequence, because we haven't talked about that, right? You're going to get someone on. Of course, you use either in terms of how do you get people on your list. Of course, you have a landing page where people opt in. Of course, you might have a Facebook group where people might leave their email address when they come in. You have membership questions, like a member's questions, I guess, when they come in. That's how you get email addresses. You can run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, whatever, right? So that's how you get people on your email list. You can run a evergreen webinar and people will register to your webinar, and then they'll get obviously a welcome sequence and a webinar replay, for example. Now, with the welcome sequence into any freebie, you need to, within 7 days, you need to establish yourself as an authority, as someone they're gonna like and trust, and add a lot of value. So those are the things. Obviously, I can't go into detail, but there's a whole sequence that I've put in place where it seeds in my background story, but not in a salesy way. It's really about for them to relate to me, right? So that's really important. A lot of people they keep on selling in the first 7 days, and then people just unsubscribe. So the question is, how do you want to be treated? And how do you want to open the door for people when they come into your house? Where you want to be hospitable. You want to ask them questions. You want to learn about them. They're going to learn about you as well. So it's not like, hey, we're dating and now tomorrow we're going to get married. No, let's date a little bit. Let's date a little bit more. And then, do you think you're ready? There's something here that you might want to have a look at. So that's another reminder as to how to build that sequence.
Yeah. And when you say email sequence, I just want to make it clear. When most people think of email sequence, it's usually like a standard set of emails that come in after you download a free resource, right? So
exactly, something that you pre-schedule. It's called an autoresponder. I guess so day 0 it would be, welcome, here's your download. Day 1, hey, did you enjoy whatever freebie? Here's the link again in case you missed it. And just a bit about me, and then you started. So it's like a daily flow in the first couple of days. So
I think it's definitely important to have that when you're introducing somebody to your audience, but then also remembering that when somebody buys something from you, that sequence may look a little bit different. For example, when somebody joins my membership, there's an entire sequence dedicated to that specific membership, right? So there's so many. This conversation can go on for weeks.
There's different layers to the onion. I guess we're talking.
It really is.
We're talking the front door.
Right. We're like knocking on the door right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because then they come through the front door, they may buy something small, and then they're, okay, let me show you the bathroom. Let me show you your bedroom. This is where you're gonna live for the next 3 months, or whatever they bought. Oh, by the way, there's an upgrade here, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's so many different layers, and it's really important to not only be really strategic with the way that you set it up, but also be careful not to overcomplicate it. Yeah. Right? Because that's very, very, very easy to do. I'm speaking from experience. I have overcomplicated too many things, which is why I had to simplify it, because I did overcomplicate it. Right. And I guess that's the only way that you can really learn is through experience. So
this is exactly the reason why I moved all my sales funnels last year. I had nothing for a while, and I was really sitting with, what is it that I really want to offer? What's the one thing I want to do, and the one thing I want to get known for? So now I only have 3 offers out of like 15 I had before, because you can't scale 15 offers, because you're gonna spread yourself too thin in terms of promoting it, unless you're using all kinds of different Facebook ads or different offers. But you really need to you should focus in and see what is it that I truly love doing. And then I start to bundle things together. Like the 20 offers I had is like now inside of my big offer, because most of it's already pre-recorded, and it will just support the high level students that I have. So think about that as well, because you could have all these different email lists and doing all this work, which may not lead to much, may just overwhelm you. So again, simplification is key before putting any more funnels in place.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I preach that. I preach that constantly, because so many people are trying to like set up the systems and set up the automations and set up all of the back end pieces. I'm like, you're not ready for that yet.
No, because things happening in your business. They haven't tested it, perhaps. Maybe they did test it, but want to ask her, how many people did you get to this page, or how many people did you offer this to? There's not enough, because they give up straight away. Like, oh, I got to change it again. I got to change this. Same thing with webinars, right? They change the offer at the end of the webinar because they think, oh, that's not worked. But then when you look at the stats, most of the people didn't actually show up to the webinar. Then the people exited halfway through because they weren't engaged, or you weren't talking enough about their problems, you didn't hook them in, you didn't use the conversion triggers that I taught you, all this kind of stuff, or that I'm going to teach you now, so you got to look at the whole chain of things rather than swapping and changing your offer, Because
Yes.
people
Oh my
even
gosh.
go and re-record all sorts of courses up front, and they put it on the, I don't know, Kajabi and things like that, and they haven't even sold one before they actually, record everything. It's just, yeah, it can be quite frustrating when you see things like that.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I think.
But no, it's like sometimes it's just like
Yeah.
the smallest tweak with like your headline or your messaging, and then the
Mhm.
sales start coming through. But instead, people will just like throw it all away and go and create something brand new. But again,
Yeah,
that,
you could
that's a
have the
whole
offer exactly the same. It's just how you message it out.
how you
You can
present it.
have the email exactly the same. It's just what headline you're going to use to bring people in.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, so good. So good. But again, this conversation can go on for a very long time. But I am going to wrap it up now. Sabine, thank you again for being here. Thank you for sharing your brilliance about simplifying business in general, right? Because we talked about a lot of different things,
Yeah.
right? And as a reminder, when you grab the Simple Marketing Bundle on April 18th, you can get Sabine's quick clients formula that's inside of the bundle. And then if you grab the VIP pass, you can get her evergreen webinar planner, which like no brainer, right? So thank you. Thank you again for being here with me, Sabine. And did you have any last minute words of wisdom that you'd like to share before we hop off?
It's been a pleasure. I think it is definitely a no-brainer to grab the Simple Marketing Bundle, because you're going to have so many different options and tools available, and just grab those golden nuggets, really.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more than 50 resources in there, and it's $7. Like it's crazy.
It is amazing. I mean, seriously, you just sometimes you spend so much money, you go into some sort of high ticket course, and then you don't even learn as much as sometimes those smaller resources, maybe just what you need. It's just a bit of some guidance, some inspiration.
Yep, one little nugget could change everything. So I love that.
Absolutely. And if you need any more help, then obviously you now get to know all of the different contributors, and this is almost like a little vetting process as well. So you see who these people are, what they believe in, what their values are, and their expertise.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, amazing. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, but thank you so much again.
Welcome.
And thank you to anybody who was here with us live, and for everybody watching the replay. We'll see you later.
Take care.